Welcome back. It is 9/11. Now that more restaurants and businesses are requiring proof of vaccination, what should you do about your vaccine card? We've been told not to laminate them in case we need a booster, but what happens if your card gets lost or damaged? Joining us with some tips for all of us is Dr. Amesh Adalia. He is a senior scholar at Johns Hopkins Center for Health Security and an infectious disease physician. Thank you for joining me this morning. I have to say, a lot of people so concerned about what to do with their vaccine card. So I'm curious, what kind of information does our vaccine card provide that's so vital? Because it just seems so simple.
The vaccine card basically has your name on it. It has your date of birth, which vaccine you got, the dates that you got them, and where you got them. That's all that's really on this card.
So the big question, because I've already had people telling me about this now, what do you do if you lose it? Because more people are asking to see it.
So if you lose it, I think the first thing to do is remember that this information is stored in other places. The first thing I would do is go back to the place that you got the vaccine, because they'll have records and they can just give you a duplicate card. It's also important to make sure that you take a picture of the card once you've gotten the vaccines, because many places will just assume that a picture is enough. When you're trying to enter, for example, just showing the picture of the card on your iPhone. There are some apps like Clear, for example, which you see maybe being used at the airport, which have a functionality where you can upload the vaccine card and it's all verified. But you shouldn't panic. I think it's not something that you can't get replaced.
Okay, that's good to hear, because a lot of people wonder, are they going to accept a picture? Because there's so much talk about fake vaccine cards going around.
Yes, it's definitely a bad situation when you have people making and fabricating vaccine cards. We really never thought something like this could happen, but it has happened with other vaccines. For example, yellow fever vaccine, fraudulent certificates were sold in Africa in the past because you need that to get into some countries. And what I think is really important is that we come up with a good technological solution to make sure that these are secure. We have lots of things on our smartphones. Virtually everybody has a smartphone. You can come up with a way to do this in a secure fashion. And I think this is another area where we kind of dropped the ball from a government perspective in the pandemic. This was something we predicted was going to be needed, that people were going to get kind of a free pass if they were vaccinated because they're no longer a threat to others. So we should have found a way to standardize the way the vaccine would be reported, the way you could put it on an iPhone or on an Android or whatever it might be. All of that should have been thought out ahead of time. So we're not scrambling now trying to figure out how to prevent fraud and how to give people a secure way to verify their vaccination status and have them not carry these flimsy cards around everywhere.
That's such a good point. Illinois just announced an online vaccination verification system called Vax Verify. We just heard about this yesterday. Some people, though, still a little nervous about uploading their personal information. Is this probably the best option?
I think it is a good option. I think there's going to be private companies that also do this, like I talked about with Clear. I think that will be kind of the standard going forward. I wouldn't feel worried about uploading your vaccine information, because remember, they already have that information because the state was the one that was administering the vaccine. There are state immunization registries that have existed for a long time. So the state knows who's vaccinated and who isn't vaccinated just based on the records when you get the vaccine.
So then that brings me to the next question, because early on when the shot was, not plentiful and people were so excited when they finally got their shot, they were trying to show that excitement by sharing their card on social media, and everybody was being told, don't do that. Why is that so dangerous?
I was somebody that myself showed it on social media. I really think a little bit of that was overblown. There are some people worried because it has your birth date on it, and that can be used as part of identity theft. But I think some of that might be more of a theoretical risk. But in general, probably shouldn't be putting personal information on the internet, even though I myself fell victim to it. But it was really based on your name and your date of birth being there, which could be used to set up a credit card account or something of that nature.
Right. Well, it was an exciting time for all of us who waited to get the vaccine, wasn't it? And then we were finally able to do it. Okay, so I carry my vaccine card with me everywhere. It's getting a little worn. I have talked to some people who have said that they have laminated it, but we're being told that's not a good idea. Tell us why and what's the best way to protect it.
I don't think it's a big deal if you laminate the card. People were worried if there were boosters that are needed that it would be hard to write on that, but you could actually get another card issued. Just bring your old card that's laminated to where you're getting vaccinated. I keep mine in my passport with my yellow fever card, and I have a picture of it on my phone in my photos, as well as I have that an app where I've uploaded it as well. I think any of those types of options is fine. I think you have to remember this is going to be a temporary thing until more people get vaccinated, until we get better control of this. We're going to need these cards. So I think it's important to keep it handy with you in multiple places and have a picture of it. But eventually this is going to dissipate as more and more people get vaccinated and as COVID becomes more of an ordinary respiratory virus that we deal with year in and year out. So I would tell people just keep the card handy for now.
Okay. Now, what's the difference between a vaccine card and a vaccine passport?
The vaccine passport really isn't a thing. It's just a way that people were describing the vaccine card as a way to allow you entry into certain venues or certain countries. There's not really anything like a vaccine passport. The closest thing we have are yellow fever vaccine cards, which some countries require you to have when you enter. See, I'll hold up my yellow fever vaccine card. It's just a yellow piece of paper. That's something that's been standardized, been used for a long, long time when you enter countries. And that's more like a vaccine passport because it's something official. The WHO sanctions it. But really, this is just an easy way to talk about what a vaccine card does. That the vaccine, if you're fully vaccinated, because COVID is no longer a threat to you and you're no longer a threat to others, that gives you kind of a green light to go back to your pre-pandemic life. And that's, I think, where we're using the word passport, although it's not officially a passport.
Okay, well, when we think of passports, we think of, traveling overseas. So Dr. Amesh, obviously, you're somebody who does. I do not have a yellow fever card, and most people probably don't. But I'm curious, what advice do you have for people who are traveling overseas when it comes to COVID, proof of COVID vaccination, and what kind of things they may deal with?
I would look it up ahead of time. Look at the country that you're going to. The State Department website has a lot of information, and some of those countries also have information on travelers, what they're going to take as proof of vaccination. Usually it's going to be your actual physical vaccine card or a picture of your vaccine card, but I would want to know that ahead of time. And some countries still may make you test. For example, if you just go to Canada, you can't just go in with your vaccine card. You also have to have a negative PCR test. So the thing about international travel for fully vaccinated people is to plan ahead and take a look at all the requirements to go there. And remember, if you're coming back by air, you're going to need a negative rapid test to enter the United States by air. You don't need it if you're driving across the border to Canada or Mexico. So it's just important to keep track of all these because they're all shifting.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of work to travel right now, so I think I'll stay home for a little bit. Thank you so much for your advice. I think this is important information. Dr. Amesh Adalia, Johns Hopkins Center for Health Security. Have a great day.
You too.
We'll
Thanks
be right back.